Hey peeps, it's Triple L, and today I'm here to bring you My Hero Academia Chapter Impressions, Chapter 103, The Exam. It's been a full week, I guess 2 weeks since we had our last My Hero Academia chapter, and it's back. And let me just tell you, man, I've been pretty riled up this morning between the result of last night's Pokemon episode and today's Bleach ending. I've been pretty riled, so I'm pretty happy to just sit back, relax, and talk about My Hero Academia. Because this chapter, thankfully, is not invoking that much emotion from me because it's more of a setup chapter. So let's just talk about it. Let's talk about individual moments. There's quite a few nice ones. We meet a new character who is a teacher. Her power is based around laughter. Pretty cool. She has a history with Aizawa. She already has her personality quirk identified. She just kind of wants to get in Aizawa's pants. He's just not having it. And we get introduced to her class, which I think is interesting. There's the one guy in this chapter who was shaking hands, and did anyone else think this guy's probably activating his quirk? Because he even says fantastic in his head as he's shaking hands with everyone. So his quirk's probably already in play, and that's fine. I thought it was interesting. I think Bakugo is probably the sharpest, but regardless, him and the other characters from this class are cool. As we see, they are second years, so they have a year of experience on our heroes. But that's whatever, because I'll get to that in a bit. Let's see, what else happened in this chapter before I get to the meat of it. Pretty much just exposition. It was pretty much all exposition and everyone talking about this thing where everyone gangs up on UA because UA is the only one that actually has information out in the public on their students. And it leads to this interesting concept called the UA crushing, where everyone just gangs up on the students. But even as I was going through the chapter, I thought, good, this is how it should be. And now it makes sense why UA has so much prestige. Because if they still produce heroes even when the other kids have the advantage, then obviously they're doing something right. Obviously. And I like very much that Deku is the one who clues in on this very quickly and tells his classmates. Naturally, people like Bakugo and Todoroki are gonna move out of the way. And that's fine. Bakugo and Todoroki both have quirks that just don't work in group environments. So them going off on their own is fine. I am not worried about them at all. Anyway, in the chapter we found out there's over 1,500 applicants. It's gonna be whittled down to I think 100. It's gonna be whittled down. Everyone's been given the rules for this situation. They got balls. Balls have to hit targets on their bodies, and anyone that gets all the targets taken out, the one that takes out the targets, gets a takedown, which is effectively a point. So you need 2 takedowns to pass the exam. So there's 1,500 people. If you need 2 takedowns, I don't want to do the math. I really don't want to do the math, but there's a possibility that there will be characters who will get way more than 2 takedowns. So the final number that we're going to end up with, it's going to be kind of hard to justify. It's going to be kind of difficult. But regardless, we'll have to see what happens. I would like a situation where everyone in our favorite class gets through the situation. But let's face it, we can't be that hopeful. There are some characters that you can put money on getting through. I feel Ida is one of those characters, maybe even Mineta, because it would be funny if he got through. Bakugo depends on which characters he faces off, because he might have a character arc happening in this particular arc. So it depends. At least one of the, at least one of the background characters might be getting through. And when I say background characters, I mean characters like Ashido, characters like Shoji. Those guys, they might, one of them might get through for sure. Anyway, let's talk about the biggest concept in this, and it's the problem of having your quirk known. Now see, I agree with Aizawa all the way, because if you are a professional hero, everyone in the world knows what your quirk is. If you can't deal with people not knowing what your quirk is, then why are you a hero, right? So I think this situation, especially because the kids have fought against people who have an idea of what their quirks are, I think they'll be fine. I really do think that they will rise to the challenge, especially because the guys from UA, Class 1A, they know what it is to be in real combat. Even if these guys have 2 years of experience on them, it doesn't matter. These kids know how to fight and they know how to think quickly. So I think that the majority of them are going to get through, and it's just going to show the superiority that UA in particular has. And let's face it, it's superiority, because if UA is doing this every year and they're sending in their students who have their quirks exposed to public knowledge and they're still producing heroes, they're producing high quality heroes, because the students are tested against winning in really adverse situations. So I'm pretty excited to see where this is going to go. Hopefully next week Deku leads the charge and we get to see some pretty awesome cooperation techniques between the class. Even in this chapter, that final panel with everyone just kind of firing back at the balls, it was great. There's one thing of note in terms of the balls. When the balls were being thrown, a lot of quirks were being applied to the balls. Some of them had fire. Some of them even had, no, one of them had a wing. So it turned into kind of like a golden snitch from Harry Potter. That was neat. And in terms of the UA defense against the initial volley, one character I think is going to be crucial in all of this, and that's Ashido, because she's destroying the balls that are being thrown at her. The other guys, they might be throwing them back, but she is destroying. The more balls she destroys, the less opportunity there is to attack the kids. So I think having her there and having her in that placement in that particular panel was excellent. So I'm very excited to see what happens next week. It's going to be really cool. Boku no Hero Academia, I really liked it. The characters are introduced in this chapter, they're okay. I really just want to see our students beat the living crap out of them. But anyway guys, till next time, have a good day. Oh my god, great, this was under 10 minutes, excellent.